All right, so we're just gonna do a kind of a series of actually short videos tonight, or for this week. Um, First, I want to fix a couple problems that we were having, so I want to go ahead and take care of that. Um, what we want to do is, if you remember right, if you remember, we are having issue with the bullet shooting correctly. Let's see if it'll still do it. Um, and so we were shooting. I slowed my bullets down so you could actually see them better. So we were having some, we're shooting, but things are not going straight. You can see a little bit better up here. Speed's a little different. And then we get some weird angles, right? So let's go and fix that first. So what we end up needing to do, um, um, is in our code. So if we go to our bullet pool script, if you remember, this is where we made some changes um, to setting the angular velocity back to 0 and the local Euler angle. So this is rotation based um, to back to 0. And turns out this is not exactly where we need to be. So what we want to do, we do want angular velocity set to 0. That's perfectly fine. We're going to also get component rigid body, and this we're going to do linear velocity. And we're going to set that to vector 3, 0. So that's got the angular velocity, so that's if it's going at a weird angle or movement, and then the linear velocity is that straight velocity. That's actually more important than the angular, but this just makes sure both of them are covered. And then to fix the rotation, we actually want to do that a little differently. We're going to do object to deactivate transform rotation, and this is going to equal quaternion identity. Quaternion is it's another form of rotation measurement. If you are really interested, that's definitely a good topic to dig into. It brings up a third variable. So quaternions are, I think if we can remove this, new quaternion. And so we have now 4 that we want to have here: X, Y, Z, and W. So it adds W. We're used to working in vector 3s, right? So vector 3 is X, Y, and Z. So quaternion adds W. I don't remember exactly what the W is. Let me see what that is. I'll look that up real quick. So the W actually in this represents the amount of rotation or represents the axis of rotation. So it really just adds to the whole information about the rotation. So what we want to do is we're going to set this to quaternion identity. That's going to zero it out. Rather than forcing it to go to 0, this just makes it go completely back to that starting 0 state. So now if we save this and we come back to our game, we hit play. Now we should see everything going as we expect it. As we spin, everything is shooting out in that direction. Everything is staying in that constant speed. There's no weird speed issues. Um, and we don't have that weird angle that all of a sudden it shoots off at a different angle. So that fixes that problem. All right. So what's the other problem? The other problem that we have is this nav mesh opening here, right? We want this dead space in our nav mesh around obstacles where uh, the robot or whatever our nav mesh agent is to avoid, right? We don't want it to try and walk through this mirror or these walls, and we don't want it cutting the corners so much that it uh, appears to be clipping in those. So, but we've got this one right around the player. And so we want to remove that. We don't want to leave this as a dead space, right? And so we can fix that if we go to our floor. It's under the environment if you set yours up like mine. And what we want to do is, if you're not already there, scroll down to the nav mesh surface. This is where we bake that surface, if you remember right? We set up and force. This is the nav mesh. This is where everything is. And so what we're actually going to do is we're going to play with included layers, right? Right now, all layers are included and all game objects. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave it as all game objects, but we're going to play with the layers. And so to do that, we're going to go up, and if you see, our player is on a default layer. And so also is our gun and our cube. So if we select the player, the gun, and the cube, and we set the layer to player, we can just do this for just this object. We've already selected any children, so we're going to set just the object. So now the player is on its own layer, which is going to allow for collisions and stuff like that to work better as well. And so now, if we come back to our floor, come back to our nav mesh surfaces, and instead of including layers everything, if we open this up, get the drop down going, what we'll do is we'll just click on player where it's currently check marked, and we're just going to uncheck it. And so now it's going to say mixed, right? We're doing all of these layers, but we're not doing, actually we can even unclick the bullet. Might as well while we're here. That way it makes sure that it's not bothering that. Hell, let's just do a couple extra. We'll also take off the UI. Does not need to be collecting the UI as well. So we're going to remove those as the included layers, and so then when we bake it again, now all those are gone. And so now we don't have a dead spot that's there, and there's no chance that the robot would not be able to get to the player. All right, and that fixes that problem. So those get us caught up on fixing the problems that we had going into this. I'm going to end this video here just because it's a quick fix. I just want to leave it as kind of a little quick one-off video. And then we're going to come back in the next video for this week, and we're going to set up enemy health. We're going to set up spawning system, and then we're going to create a health bar for both the player and for the enemies. So stay tuned for those, and I'll see you in the next video.